A lot of people, when moving to a new home, only focus on packing quickly, arranging things neatly, and making sure everything fits. But very few actually pay attention to the things you should do before moving in. And those things are incredibly important. They play a big role in determining whether your new home will attract wealth and good luck throughout the time you live there. That is exactly why today I want to share with you 5 things you should do before moving into a new house. These steps are believed to clear the path for prosperity and good fortune, help your home feel settled faster, and get your family into a steady rhythm right from the very beginning. So make sure you stick around until the end, because there is one step that a lot of people tend to overlook, yet it actually has the biggest impact once you start living there. If you are planning to move in the near future and still have no idea what to do first, then just follow along with this video. And if you have any questions while watching, feel free to leave a comment down below. I always read them, and I will pick the questions that get the most attention to answer in upcoming videos. So now let us get straight into the content. I am going to walk you through exactly 5 things you need to do before moving in, step by step, so you will not get confused or miss anything. Let us start with number 1. Choose the right time to move in officially. In traditional beliefs, this is called the housewarming ceremony, but more precisely, it refers to the exact moment when your family officially steps through the front door, brings in human presence, and truly starts living in the house. Many people make a clear distinction between moving furniture and moving in officially. For example, your belongings may already be delivered ahead of time, but the real move-in happens at a carefully chosen time, when you open the door, turn on the lights, place a few symbolic items, and begin using the space as the new homeowners. To choose that timing, most families will base it on the lunar age of the main breadwinner in the household. The goal is to pick a date that aligns well with that person's energy and avoid any direct clashes. The first thing to consider is the 5 elements of the selected day. You can usually find this in traditional lunar calendars or tables of heavenly stems and earthly branches. Some families tend to favor days that lean toward metal, which is associated with prosperity and financial gain. Others prefer water days, since water represents smooth, flowing energy. On the flip side, some avoid fire days because they fear it could bring tension, arguments, or heat-related issues, such as kitchen problems or malfunctioning electronics. They would rather go with a cool day to help start life in the new house with a calm and peaceful mindset. After that, many people also check the compatibility between the house's direction and the date's earthly branch to avoid any energetic conflict. A common guideline passed down by word of mouth goes like this. For homes facing east, wood element, avoid days of the ox, rooster, and snake. For homes facing west, metal element, avoid rabbit, goat, and pig days. For homes facing south, fire element, avoid rat, monkey, and dragon days. And for homes facing north, water element, avoid tiger, horse, and dog days. Besides picking a good day, people often filter out a group of highly avoided days to make their decisions easier when planning something important. The most well-known ones are the nuong days, which fall on the 3rd, 7th, 13th, 18th, 22nd, and 27th days of each lunar month. Then there is another group of days commonly referred to as danger days, which include the 5th, 14th, and 23rd of the lunar month. Many families avoid these dates when doing business, signing contracts, or moving to a new home, believing that starting something on one of these days could lead to a rough journey. Lastly, some people avoid moving during the 3rd and 7th lunar months due to traditional holidays. The 3rd month has the Qingming festival, and the 7th has the Vulan festival, both associated with honoring the deceased. So instead, they choose another month that feels spiritually lighter. In addition to all that, some families also avoid days called Sat Chu, Thian Tai, or Dia Hua, depending on the school of thought or regional custom they follow. In general, if your family already trusts a specific person or method for picking dates, it is best to stick to one consistent system to avoid getting overwhelmed. Number 2, deep clean the entire house and fix any damp or mold. Once you have decided on the official move-in date, the The very next thing to do is a full-on cleaning and moisture inspection. This step lays the foundation for your new home, because no matter how many rituals you perform, if the place still smells musty, has moldy corners, or layers of dust from sitting too long, the space will feel heavy. And from a health perspective, it is definitely not ideal, especially for children and elderly family members. Start by opening all the windows and doors to air out the house and get rid of any lingering smells or humidity. Then walk through and inspect all the common problem spots. Along the baseboards, corners of the ceiling, the kitchen, bathrooms, underneath the sink, behind built-in cabinets, the area where you plan to put the washing machine, and dark corners. If you smell mold or see any wall stains, do not just wipe the surface clean. Figure out the real cause. It could be a leak from the ceiling or pipes, moisture getting soaked up through the walls, or poor ventilation in that area. The right approach is to dry it out first, using fans, open windows, or a dehumidifier. Then clean it with appropriate solutions, and finally keep the space well ventilated for a few days to stop the mold from coming back. You should also inspect the electrical and plumbing systems during this stage because they directly impact safety when you start bringing things in. Test each light switch, check for loose outlets, sparks, or burning smells. Turn on the faucets in the kitchen and bathrooms to make sure the water pressure is steady and there are no leaks under the sink or at the joints. Flush the toilet to see if it drains quickly and if there is any unpleasant smell rising from the drain. Number 3, purify the space with incense or energy cleansing. Once the house is clean and dry, the next step is to purify the space using incense or other safe methods. Think of it this way. Cleaning removes the visible dirt, smells, and mold, but purifying clears out the invisible stuff, like stale energy trapped in corners, or spiritual heaviness from the house sitting empty for too long. In terms of Feng Shui, this is a way of sweeping out the old energy to welcome in the new. You can use any material that smells pleasant to your household and does not cause irritation. Here are a few common methods. 1. Agar wood incense. Using cone or powder forms of agar wood produces a warm, clean, and distinct scent. This method is often used to unblock the energy in the space, making the home feel lighter and more peaceful. 2. Burning dried soapberries. Soapberry smoke has a very unique scent and is great for homes that feel damp or have hidden musty spots. Many people like it because it quickly makes the space feel fresh again, especially in areas with little airflow. 3. Salt and alcohol cleansing. This is the strongest method for homes believed to have bad energy or negative spiritual residue. Salt is known to absorb negative energy, and when combined with fire from alcohol, it burns away any lingering negative presence or bacteria. 4. Cinnamon and herbal blends. Cinnamon sticks, star anise, cloves, and certain fragrant traditional herbs create a cozy, warm smell. This is especially helpful for cold or dark homes, or when it has been raining for days and you want to bring a sense of warmth inside. When purifying, do it moderately and in the right order for best results. Start from the innermost rooms and work your way out toward the front door. If your home has multiple levels, begin on the top floor and go down. In each room, pause briefly in corners, bathrooms, and the kitchen. No need to stay too long or make the smoke overwhelming. Make sure to leave a window or the front door slightly open during the whole process so that the old energy and smells have a way to escape. After finishing, let the house air out for another 10 to 20 minutes to balance the air and let the scent fade a bit. And watch out for 3 common mistakes. Purifying while the house is still damp, because mold will come back fast. Burning too much and creating smoke that stings your eyes and affects breathing, or doing it in a completely sealed room that makes the space feel stuffy. As long as you keep it simple, moderate, and follow fire safety, your home will feel fresh, pleasant, and ready before you move in your belongings. Number 4, bring in a good luck item first. After choosing the right time and cleansing the space, now it is time to bring in your good luck item, the very first thing that enters your home. This may seem like a small detail, but many families treat it as an important ritual to set the tone for the new house. What you carry in first often symbolizes what you wish to attract most: warmth, abundance, stability, and a true sense of home. The process is simple. Never walk into your new house completely empty-handed on the first time. Each person should carry a small symbolic item. The most popular choice is fire, because fire represents warmth and positive energy. You can bring a lighter, a mini gas stove, or a candle. The key is to have a real flame, something easy to control and safe. Next comes rice and clean water, two items that represent abundance and nourishment in Asian cultures. A small jar of rice and a bottle or kettle of clean water being carried. And first clearly say, this home has food, it has water, and we are starting with the basics covered. Some families also bring in a mat or mattress as a way of setting up a resting spot for the family. Practically, this gives you a place to sit down, place items, or organize without making a mess. If possible, choose clean or brand new items, since a tidy, fresh start makes the space feel more pleasant. Another popular item is a wind chime, usually a small metal one temporarily hung near the door or balcony to add a soft sound. This helps bring a little life into the quiet, empty space. Just make sure to choose one that is small and gentle, not loud or harsh. Number 5, activate the energy flow during the first 3 days and complete the move-in ritual. After bringing in your good luck items, the next step is to activate the energy flow during the first 3 days and carry out the official move-in ritual. You can think of the first day as the day you set the rhythm, while the first 3 days are the phase where that rhythm starts to settle. If you handle this part well, your home will quickly feel warm and lively, and your daily routine will fall into place much sooner. To activate the energy flow in the first 3 days, focus on 3 key actions: open, light, and warm. First, open. When you first enter the house, open the main door and the windows that face light breezes. This lets the old air out and fresh air in. You do not need to keep everything wide open all day long. Just open them in intervals, especially in the morning and in early afternoon. This helps the house dry out faster, reduces material smells, and makes the space feel less stuffy. Next is light. Turn on the lights in the darker areas, especially hallways and corners. Many families keep the lights on in the evenings during the first 1 to 3 nights to build up positive energy. From a practical perspective, lighting also helps the space feel less cold or empty and makes it easier to arrange furniture and move around safely. And finally, warm. On your very first day, boil a kettle of water, make tea, or cook something simple. In folk beliefs, boiling water symbolizes smooth flow and good fortune. In real life, the scent of tea, the warmth of steam, and activity in the kitchen quickly give the home that lived-in feeling. If possible, have your first meal in the new house, even something basic. It is one of the most powerful ways to turn your house from an empty space into a true living environment with rhythm and warmth. Alongside activating the energy, if your family has a tradition of spiritual rituals, this is also the time to perform the official move-in ceremony. It does not have to be elaborate, just respectful and sincere. The core of the ritual is to announce and ask for permission from the guardian spirits of the land, such as the earth god, the wealth god, and the dragon vein according to folk beliefs, and to invite your ancestors to come and witness the moment, offering blessings for peace and harmony in your household. Offerings do not have to be fancy, just clean and prepared with sincerity. Common items include incense, fresh flowers, fruits, clean water, and optionally a cooked meal, whether vegetarian or not, depending on your family's tradition. When praying, clearly state your full name, the date, your new home's address, and that your family is officially moving in today. Ask for peaceful residence, smooth work, and good health for all. Afterward, place the altar in the spot you prepared, preferably in a quiet, respectful corner, not in a busy walkway and not directly facing the bathroom. Then light the incense and maintain a peaceful and uplifting atmosphere in the house for the day. There are a few common mistakes people make during this phase that you should avoid. First, closing all the doors right after moving in, which traps humidity and lingering odors inside. Second, Leaving the house completely dark because you think no one is officially staying there yet, this makes it feel cold and lifeless. Third, getting frustrated and snapping at others while organizing because of poor planning, which ruins the mood of the first day. All you really need to do is stick with open, light, warm for the first 3 days, and if your family follows tradition, carry out a neat and respectful move-in ritual. That alone sets a solid foundation for your house to become stable and full of positive energy in the long run. At this point, you can probably see that bringing in wealth and good luck when moving does not actually come from anything far-fetched. It begins with something very close, giving your new home a clean, dry, bright, breathable, and warm foundation. When you choose the right time to move in, deep clean and dehumidify the house, do just enough incense cleansing to lighten the space, bring in items that signal abundance, and maintain that open, light, warm rhythm in the first few days. Along with a simple move-in ritual, your home will stabilize quickly, and everyone in the household will also settle into their routines with much more ease. Good fortune often does not come from anything mystical. It shows up in the peace you feel when you step inside your front door, in deeper sleep, warmer meals, and a space that helps you stay calm, focus on your work, and save money better each day. And before we wrap up, if you are planning to move soon, or if your home has specific issues like long-term humidity, doors facing each other, or a road pointing straight into your house, or if you just are not sure what step to take first, feel free to leave a comment below. I will read through and pick the questions that come up most often to answer in the next videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.